Hola, soy Ana Carla, ¿y tú? So, first one of the year. I feel echoey. Am I echoey? Well, Happy New Year. How was it? Is it going better? Is it any better? At least a little bit better. Oof, only time will tell. But, well, isn't it what you were hoping for? You wanted 2020 over, now it is. What can you do? You just keep going. Oh, anyway. Well, I remember, because of the new year and all of this, I remember that a year ago, I was, well, focused on starting my master's. So that's what I was doing. A year ago I think that by this time I already knew which schools to apply to. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. In case you are someone who would like to know how to study abroad. I remember, when was it? I think it was after high school or a few years after high school, I don't remember. But I saw someone studying abroad from my hometown and I thought, how did he do it? Because I was interested too. And my big brain never thought of asking. So it was just interesting seeing that it was possible to do. It wasn't just something that you see other people do, that you can do it too. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. In my case, it was a master's degree. Well, it is. I don't have it yet, but hopefully we'll get there. But, well, basically, excuse me. I have my notes. I tried to come up with steps, if you will. The first one that I wrote down was why. What do you want to study abroad or to continue with your studies? So in this case, I think that some people, instead of knowing exactly why, they do it because of others. Maybe their family are pressuring them. I don't know, but I think that it is important to know why. Especially because knowing why will be of great help. It will be your motivation, because it will get hard. Like, you'll need that motivation. And secondly, I wrote what? Just, hey, what? So, what is it that you want to do? Well, do you have a specific goal, a specific topic, or something that you'd like to go for? Like a bachelor's or a master's or anything like that. Okay, now that you know why you want to do it, do you know what it is that you like to learn about? And also, depending on what it is that you would like to study and to know more about, the requirements are different, so it is important to have that in mind as well. So if you'd like to know stuff about, study something, some engineering stuff, are you qualified to do it? Do you think you can do it? Are you interested enough? Is your why enough for you to graduate? Because it will be difficult. And, well, the requirements, at least in my situation. I think that it is important that I mention that one thing that helped me a lot was the internet. There are sites that you can visit. I should have looked up the name. I think it's called Masters Portal. Let me look it up. I'll be right back. Okay, so the names that I'm seeing here are studyportals.com and mastersportal.com. Those help me a lot. There you can filter the results based on location, on price, on what I already said, that if you're interested in engineering, in business, in whatever, science, I don't know, art, you can filter the results. So it is easier for you to make a decision and to come up with a list. You can save them and review them. You can see stuff, basic information. The sites shows you basic information about that. My voice is going away. I need a water break. I spilled it all over myself. Okay. So the site tells you, it's like the basic information you would like to know first, and most of the times they included a link that, well, so you can visit the school, the official site for that thing that you are interested in studying. So they are really helpful sites. I'm sure there are way more than these two, but these two are the ones that help me personally. So yeah, I mean, if you know which part of the world you would like to be in to study, you can just select them and see what your options are. At least for me, it helped me a lot. Oh, and this site also tells you the requirements. Yeah, for example, if it is in a different language, if you need, okay, I'll put myself as an example. I needed a TOEFL exam. That's how I knew that I needed one. So, well, I had to study. Even though you know English, I think with TOEFL exams, the most difficult thing is not proving that you know English, but just learning how to answer the exam. Because it's not the English, it's the exam itself. But it's really stressful. If you are taking one of those, if you're planning on taking one of those, I recommend you to just study. I think, okay, there's people who charge you to teach you about these things. I didn't do that. I just watched YouTube videos. They're really helpful. There are people whose job is to teach you these things, and for some reason they do it for free and upload it on YouTube. Thank you. So yeah, check those out. The one that I took was IVT, I think it's called, which is Internet-Based Test. I think that's what it means. And there are other studies that require you different kinds of tests, other than just English, or maybe you need, I don't know, German or whatever other language. So the second point was what? Knowing what it is that you like to study and check the requirements, because maybe those are basic for you to decide if you are studying these or this other option. So taking those into account is really important. At least it was for me. And well, I already said it, but my number 3 was where. So knowing what it is that you'd like to study and then settling on where. At least having options. Are you staying in your home country? Are you studying abroad? Where? And then 4, options. Again, these my voice, oh my god. As I was saying, the options, these 2 sites that I mentioned are really helpful. At least for me, making lists was amazing. Because maybe you have certain schools in mind, but seeing them on paper and comparing, okay, this school asked me for whatever exam, and then this other one, it's only asking me for this. And then also maybe they already show you an average per semester or per year. You have to take that into account too. If it is abroad, well, you need insurance. You need to get there. You need a plane ticket. You need a place to live in. You need to take into account all of these things. And I wrote also another point 4. What does this say? Oh, if abroad, do you need a visa? Do you need a residence permit? That is really important too. If you're considering studying abroad, thinking about a visa and all of these things is really important. Do you need to travel to even apply to deliver your documents, taking that into account is really important too. And on number 5, I wrote apply. Once you know your why, your what, where, your options, apply. At least for me last year, I think I had until March, mid-March, and by the end of March for the 2 schools that I applied to. Oh, I think it is also important to know what kind of application it is. For one of them, I had to send hard copies of my documents via post, which, well, you also have to pay for, so take that into account. And ask how much, how long English help, to know how many days it will take for those papers to get there in case they don't get there in time. Yeah, just ask. Or if everything is online. In my case, I had them both. One was online, and for the other one, I had to send my papers. So take that into consideration too. Also, I think it's all of them, maybe. They ask you for a motivation letter or something like that. Take your time writing it. I think it is a really good idea to get someone else to read it for you before you deliver it, before you send it in. Because maybe it sounds good to you, but for someone else, it's like, you need help with this. And again, just requirements. But yeah, apply. If it is on everything online, obviously it is way easier. You literally just click on your documents and send, and that's it. And then what did I write? Oh, interview. Some of them ask you for an interview. Again, in my case, it was 2. One of them did ask me for an interview. The other one, it wasn't a requirement, so they didn't even mention it. And well, for the one that I didn't need an interview, that was easy, no interview. But for the other one, I didn't know what to do. Because, I mean, are we just talking? Am I supposed to learn something? So I went to YouTube and just looked up. Just like with the TOEFL exam, I also looked up university interviews. And I think the most important tip that I got is ask questions. They are going to be asking you so many things, and then they're going to ask you, hey, do you have any questions for us? Ask something. It doesn't matter. Okay, it matters. It matters what you ask. But come up with questions. Even if it is just 1 or 2, ask something. That is really important. At least the way I look at it, it shows that you are interested in this school. Maybe you can ask about the other students, how many are abroad, the teachers are also abroad, are they locals, I don't know, employment rate from graduate, I don't know, just come up with something. I recommend you to watch YouTube videos. Number 7, how easy, how are we just jumping through steps? Okay, number 7, make a decision. Yeah, make a decision. Again, my case, both of them said yes, so I had to make a decision. They give you a limit of time for you to say something, and well, you have to make up your mind. How many did you apply to? How many said yes? If only 1 said yes, then hey, that's an easy decision. But even if you apply to 2 or more, make your list. Know which one is number 1 for you. And that's really important, at least for me. Again, an example. The first university that said yes to me was my second choice. But the fact that one of them said yes, it's like, yes, I'll say yes to you too. But no, you have to wait for the others. In mine, I had to wait a long time. Like, even The first one told me, you have until this date to decide. That date passed, and I was still waiting for the other one. I think the other one said yes before the limit date for the first one, but they didn't send me the acceptance letter, I think it's called, I forgot, until like a month later, which was really annoying. Every single day I woke up, the first thing that I will do was check my mail. Because sure, they said yes, but they didn't formally say yes. So anyway, once you make a decision, I think number 8 will be the payment. Yeah, they are, at least like in my experience, they're going to ask you to make a deposit. So you have to do that. Again, inside of number 8, I put a little note. Where are you going to live? Have you been looking up places? If you're applying to different countries or different cities, have you looked at places in each one of them? Because that's really important too. What if they say yes and you still don't know anything? So, well, the payment to the school, and in that same point, where are you going to live? And then number 9, do you need a visa? The residents, apply to those. Applying to those during a global pandemic is not fun at all. Everything was closed. I had to wait such a long time for mine, but I'm sure in the future it will be easier. But I think that's the next step. Once you are completely sure where are you going to go to, you have to start thinking about the visa, the residence, what are you gonna do? Is there something else that you have to do once you get to the country? All of these things. And then get a flight. If you are getting a visa, they're going to ask you for a flight. You can just get a dummy ticket. I think that's what some people call them. Don't buy the original ticket just for the visa. That's not a good idea. What if the visa gets declined and you paid a lot of money for the flight? That's another tip that I'm giving you. Get a dummy ticket. Instead of paying thousands of whatever your currency is, you will just, I think they sell it for maybe $10, $15, $20. There are a lot of different options, but just get one of those. They take like 6 to 24 hours to send it to your email, and all you have to do is print it, and that's it. You're good to go. But once you get the yes from the embassy, then you can buy the real flight ticket. So start looking at those too, and pack and go and study. Maybe if you do it around these times before leaving, we could add a COVID test. But again, hopefully in the future we don't have to do that anymore. So that's my little list of tips on how to study abroad, in case you are interested in doing it someday, or someone you know would like to know the steps of how to do it. Because at least I didn't, in my life, in my mind, it was something really difficult in doing something that only a few people in this world were able to do. And just look at options. Maybe, I don't know, there are all kinds of prices. There are really expensive schools, there are cheaper schools, there are private universities, public. The living expenses might be higher somewhere, might be lower. Sorry, make your research. That's it. I mean, there are a lot of little things here and there that you might have to do. Water break, sorry. That you might have to do between these little steps that I gave you. But basically that's, I guess, the most important ones that I can come up with. So just a little recap. Why what, where, the options apply. Do you need an interview? Make a choice, the payments, do your visa, your residency stuff, get a real flight, and then go there. That's it. Easy, right? No. One thing that I remember happening because of all of these, all of this COVID thing, I thought about withdrawing after I made the payment and all of these things because of all the problems with the embassy being closed and restrictions. I thought about what if I just try next year? I'm glad I didn't do that. I made it. I'm here. Sure, everything is online. Everything is closed. You cannot meet people. This is our third lockdown since I arrived here. It's been really fun. But hopefully it will be over soon anyway. As I said, I hope this will help someone. What? I did pass my TOEFL exam, just saying. Also with those exams, something that I forgot to say, they are going to ask you for, depending on where you go, not just for the exam, but for an exact number. I remember one school or a few actually, that I was really interested to. But I went to what are they called? Fair? One of these things where people from universities get together and they invite people and you can go and talk to them and ask them and hear them out, whatever, you know what I mean. One of these schools I was getting interested to, but I saw that for TOEFL IBT they asked for 100 out of 120 and I got 99 out of 120. So I go to this lady who came from this school and I asked her, hey, so I see that you have the 100 out of 120 and I got 99. Do you think it will be possible for me to get in with my 99? She's like, no, I don't think so. She was British. Sorry for my bad accent, but but she was like, no, I think it will be really difficult for them to overlook your 99 instead of the 100. So I didn't even bother continue reading the brochure because, well, thank you for the support, lady. Just take those things into consideration and do your best. And well, that was the first episode of the year. That was fun. I sat here looking through the window with a plate of food in front of me. And it's cold now. I have to put it in the microwave again. Well, today I start classes again. The winter break is over. January 7th. It's been fun. Anyway, I'll be back next week. Next week, I lost my voice. I'll talk to you next week. I won't see you. Okay, until next week. You know it by now. In 3, in 2, in 1. Ta-ta. That was an ugly one. Bye-bye.